guys, welcome to the Saab 9.3 TurboX first drive here. I'm holding my camera because it's way too cold out and my mount doesn't seem to want to work, so apologize for the shaky camera if it's a little shaky. But this is my first initial thought. Besides for not having good tires on the car is extremely smooth. I mean, if I go up to 70 miles an hour, you don't even feel it. The transmission shifts extremely, the transmission shifts like butter. The turbo sounds, there is no turbo sounds because I don't have an intake on there, but the exhaust sounds is really what I meant. You can kind of hear it. It sounds amazing. It's got like a nice clean V6 sound to it. This car is amazing, guys. If you've never driven one of these, I hope this video allows you to kind of understand what it's like. It's smooth, the steering wheel feels good, the sounds of the exhaust are great. I love it. I absolutely love it. So right now we are driving. We're speeding. We're speeding. I should slow down. All right. So right now we are driving to the inspection station. We're gonna get this thing inspected. Obviously, it's gonna pass with flying colors. We have no sensor lights on. Everything runs perfectly. We have a new exhaust, or excuse me, we have a new drive shaft in there. They don't inspect that stuff. They're just checking emissions. But everything in terms of emissions is good. We got clean gas in there, at least half a tank. And yeah, we're gonna bring this thing through. The suspension is good. So this is the ultimate Saab driver's car, and I'm finally able to drive it properly with all-wheel drive, and I can feel the difference. There's less torque steer now that we have the drive shaft in there, and off the bat, the car just feels a little bit more stable now that that drive shaft's in there, giving power to the rear wheels. Designed the way it's supposed to perform. Obviously, this car is I would say, a lot of people have actually said it, is rear wheel drive bias. So off the line, the car wants to throw more power at the rear wheels. So when I had the drive shaft out, you can feel the transmission, you know, the RPMs would jump up off the line to try to, you know, to engage those rear wheels, and it wasn't getting that traction because that shaft wasn't there. So I was feeling it in the initial shift, but that is now gone since that shaft is in there, and it's good. I've got 55 miles on this car since we purchased it. I don't plan on driving it too much. I want to keep the miles low, but you know how that goes. These Saab cars, once you're driving them, once you're in them, it's addicting. You just want to keep driving them. It's a true driver's car. So I will see you guys here in a few minutes. We're just gonna go get this thing inspected. Should pass. Then I'm gonna drive over to the paint shop. We're gonna get a quote to get the paint done on the rear quarter panels. If you haven't been following the build, there was some rust that we addressed. I did some rust reformer and resanded everything and got it down properly. And I'm not done reforming. I'm just gonna get the paint done, and then we're also gonna do what's called a I forget what it's exactly called, but it's a wool wax paint, a wool wax spray, a wool wax primer, something along those lines. And what I'm going to do is actually spray that in between the fender and the fender liner, in between the seams before I reseal them, because I took the seals out. So that is going to protect the metal, the raw metal inside the panel, which is what's causing the rust, because rust doesn't form from the outside. It actually forms from the inside and pushes out. So in order to prevent further rusting, we're going to spray that in there at some point soon to make sure it's protected from further rust. Obviously, this car is not going to be treated the way it was previously, but you know how that goes. So we're just going to take the preventative measures. But this is the first drive. It's absolutely amazing. Everything shifts beautifully. And yeah, so stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here in a minute. All right, guys, what a gentleman, what a gentleman. We are leaving the inspection station. This is what he claimed to be a good pass fail. Okay, we didn't pass inspection, and here's the simple reason. The car's been sitting for way too long. and I also had the battery disconnected and so on and so forth. So the computers in the car haven't actually cycled enough to actually click and communicate with their computer system. So a couple things didn't check off, like the catalytic converter, but that's because the systems haven't actually cycled through. So essentially all I need to do is just drive the car probably about 100 miles or so before I bring it back here. So we are going to do that. I have nothing to worry about because obviously the car is running good, and in about a week or so I'll bring it back, get it passed, and we should be good. So we're gonna continue to drive this thing. We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna go over to the body shop, get a quote for the paint, and I will see you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, so just saw me whip some corners there. We got bald tires and cold weather. However, this thing still handles turns like a champ, and it sounds really amazing in this car. I can't imagine what it's like to have a 3-inch downpipe from Corona Performance with an intake and a tune. Sounds freaking fantastic in this car, and it's completely 100% stock. Minus some cheap plastics on the interior, I would say Saab did a fantastic job with this car, or I should say GM. Now, if it was just Saab, we would probably have half the amount of crappy plastics in here, but, you know, just talking as an enthusiast of old school Saabs here, sorry guys, still respect the fact that they've made only 600 of these, and it's pretty quick, pretty nimble. I like it. I dig it. I think it's worth it. I'm on my favorite back roads here. I mean, it just pulls into the corners. There's a little bit of oversteer needing. You need a little bit of oversteer. I can feel it, at least. I'm not pushing it too hard, but I can just feel that you need to oversteer a little bit with that all-wheel drive system. But it handles nice. And like I said earlier in this video, it just runs real quick, real smooth, up to 70, 80 miles an hour real quick. Transmission's smooth. I wish it was a 6-speed. I know some of you out there are like, it's an automatic, but you know, we got a deal and we saved it. We saved this thing from a parts car or whatever. Stinky. Smells very stinky from that little rippage I just did. Give that a minute to cool off. Car runs really good, guys. I can't wait to get the new tires put on there. Can't wait to get this thing painted. Can't wait to get that paint buffed out completely, that interior scrubbed out. Those are the things that we have left to do on this thing. We changed the oil, we serviced all of the broken components, we got rid of all of the rust for the most part, and we got a little bit of rust still on the front subframe. If you watched that last video, we're gonna surfacely scruff that down, surfacely correct that, surfacely paint that, make sure it's nice and clean so it looks good. I know it's under the car and nobody sees it, but I want it to look good because it's my car and I know what's underneath, what's going on. So that is a wrap, guys. It's officially on the road. The TurboX is finally on the road. We got title, we got everything situated. I'm excited, guys. It's been a couple months of hard work here, a couple months of a little bit of stress between the title and the drive shaft situation there with that bolt, but we got it all situated. Everything happens for a reason. Drop a comment below, drop a like, get this thing viral on YouTube so everybody can see how wonderful it is to drive a Saab. They are so great, especially the TurboX. I'm sure the Aeros are just as nice, but this is something different. If you guys have been watching the videos on my channel for quite a while, you'll know that I'm an old school Saab guy. I started off with an 0295. I also have an 0293, so I've done a ton of content on the old generation, older generation, quote unquote, because I know a lot of you guys out there may have older ones, but those model years are what I usually have content on. I haven't done much on the new generation Saab 93s or even the 95s yet. Maybe I will, because we got this NG93 here, and I kind of like it. Like I said earlier, I don't care for a lot of the plastics in the car. However, the performance of the car and the way it drives all around, all in all, kind of outweighs some of those negatives. So I kind of dig it. I kind of like it. That's the scoop, guys. That's my first take on this car. First time ever. Still more to come. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Drop a comment. Follow me on Instagram at Pancis. A lot of you guys have been reaching out. I love it. Ask away all the questions. It's always a lot of fun for me. I spend a lot of time answering questions. Email me as well. Whatever works for you guys. You guys always, as always, rock. The support is amazing. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.